generally in my philanthropy, I've enjoyed being the sort of person I am to think or dream of something and then make it happen, but not always so. There were two members of the IT livery company who approached me and were linked with Oxford University, and they suggested that I sponsor what became the Oxford Internet Institute. And the idea was that this was not the technology, but this was the social, legal, ethical, and moral issues of the internet, which was at the turn of the millennium, because clearly becoming a very important thing for the 21st century. Nobody was really doing this. There are one or two institutes worldwide. But first of all, I thought, oh no, I'm very non-technical these days. I'd moved on, my business was behind me. And then I began to realize that it was very appropriate to use the wealth that came from the IT industry in the IT industry. So I began to talk with the Oxford people, was horrified at the difficulty of finding out what I was doing, because it was the Oxford University there and the college there and the internet, very, very cumbersome negotiations. Why should it be that? Universities are very much part of a national wealth, and yet dealing with them I found extremely cumbersome, and I found the whole period of it was about 9 months, like a baby, isn't it, between the initial discussion and actually signing and sealing it. They thought that was tremendously quick. Only 9 months? Whereas I'm used to make things on a quite different time scale. One of the things that I've learnt to do is to have a stepping stone, so that on that project I gave an initial £100,000 to carry out a feasibility study, so that people could start to be working seriously, so that the college could vacate some accommodation that was being rented out, so that when we went ahead, there was somewhere for the institute to go. And that's a gamble, because after all, if we hadn't gone ahead, they needed that money really to sort of balance the risk. People think of the universities as being very wealthy, and of course they are in intellectual and physical terms. In cash terms, they're not as wealthy as one might think. And I found that contribution to Oxford very satisfying. I didn't go to university, so that the link with a college, and especially one as high level as Balliol, has been an enormous fun for me. I dine in college about once a term, and that's a deliberate thing to sort of show that I'm interested. I'm not just writing a check and walking away. I serve on their strategy advisory board, and am able to complement the skills of all these technical people, professors of this and professors of that, who come at problems in a quite different way. And the introductions that I can make are commercial introductions to universities that they've never even heard of, and I really enjoy that link with them. The relationships between me as an individual, the Shirley Foundation as the financial conduit, and the various organisations and charities that would support you, really always has to be reciprocal, and it has to be developmental, and we do things together. One of the things that the Oxford Internet Institute has done very directly for me as an individual is to mount a think tank on philanthropy on the internet. This is something that is not brand new. It's just starting to happen. A very small percentage of giving is over the internet, but it's mass giving, a lot of people giving more and more, and if it follows the sort of retail progress, it is expected to be up to about 10% in a very few years' time. So to actually focus on what difference that makes to society, to have philanthropic giving over the internet, to have some of the information about giving, helping potential givers to decide what and how to do, to help charities promote themselves. The internet is obviously pretty important as the biggest library in the world.